Well, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I've just left the Denny Creek Trailhead at about 9,900 feet. Hopefully going to be heading up to the top of Mount Yale today. Still pretty dark outside. And this climb is a total of about 8.5 miles round trip, about 4,300 feet of total elevation gain. So, kind of mid-range endurance stats. The last time I was on this mountain was back in 1991 when I climbed it with my dad. This initial section already pretty steep. Heading northward. Now at about 10,200 feet. Now going roughly in a northwest direction. Trails leveled out a little bit after those initial switchbacks heading north. Fairly soon we should be coming up to the crossing of Denny Creek. It is about 20 after 6 now. Still headed roughly northwest through this forest. About 10,300 or 10,400 feet. Gotten fairly light out now. Put the flashlight away. And here now at about 10,500 feet, I've reached the crossing of Denny Creek. Fairly solid. So at about 10,006 or 700 feet, you reach this sign, indicating that we need to go toward the right and turn toward the northeast to head to Mount Yale. We're still zigzagging and switchbacking, fairly steep after that trail junction. These aspen are pretty along here. It doesn't look like you want to cross right there. It's a series of logs right there leading to the other side, but looks like the trail continues up this way. Looks like we cross, not just yet. And you do encounter this pretty steep, rocky part of the trail alongside the creek here, around 11,000 feet. Reaching the actual crossing of Delaney Creek. We'll cross over to the east side of this. So right after the crossing of Delaney Creek back there, you begin to head even more steeply. Not that it hasn't been steep so far, but now even more steeply till toward the northeast, up the side of Mount Yale's southwest shoulder here. Yeah, this is going to be quite a stretch, I think. The view has substantially opened up now as I continue on in the thinning trees. And about 11.4, 11.5 or so, you descend a little bit after that to cross this little tiny stream here. Head kind of back into the woods more. And start up again. Up this pretty steep slope here. I remembered from long ago Mount Yale being a pretty steep climb. So now closing in on about 12,000 feet, about to leave the trees for good. And here above 12,000 feet, you can see it's a lot rockier along this stretch. But I think we reached some grassier area up here. Eventually, now at about 12,300, 12,400 maybe, still headed roughly east northeast up these rocky slopes. Just panning around, you can see that shoulder of that southwest shoulder of Mount Yale there. And we've now turned toward the north, and the trail's getting a little less rocky here. Going to be headed north for a while. I'm still going north up these grassy slopes. Fairly steep, not incredibly steep, but definitely fairly steep, and steadily so. Here at about 12.5, 12.6. Still heading northward up this southwest shoulder here. Looks like the final stage of this segment is going to be up that final hill there. Series of pretty steep looking switchbacks. You can see one other person going up there, taking a breather, it looks like. Keep going. Closing in on about 13,000 now. You can see it's gotten rockier again. Coming up that final series of switchbacks up to the top of the shoulder here. Fairly grueling. Damn. So I'm up here now. I finally reached the top of those pretty grueling northward switchbacks. And the view to the north is now opened up. And you can see Mount Harvard and Columbia there. Get started. Pretty boulder strewn. Pretty sizable cairns though along the way to guide you. There is, however, a false summit right here. Bypassing this false summit on its left side here. I did have to descend a little bit to make my way around that false summit. Well, this last part is definitely a boulder hopping challenge. Final segment. Hours and 40 minutes to get all the way up here. Just a little breeze, very nice and clear. Do a quick pano around from the summit of Mount Yale here. Southwest, and now towards the south. You can see from right to left you have the 14ers Tabaguach, Mount Shavano, Mount Antero, and immediately to our south there's Mount Princeton. And off towards southeast and then east, Arkansas Valley. Buena Vista area. To the north, Mount Columbia, and the impressive looking Mount Harvard, and to the left of Harvard there you've got Oxford, Belford, Missouri. I think off farther to the north there you can see Elbert. and maybe La Plata.